Welcome, everybody, to the Evolution Podcast, presented by Evergreen Foundations here on Skool. I'm Brandon DeKramer from the Better Brain Project. I'm joined by my amazing partner, Dinka Salvador from Trinity Code. Today, we have a great guest. He's a moderator here in our community. He runs the community self-organizing organism. He's become a big part of our lives in our home. We listen to his meditations at night now before we go to bed. Jarne is becoming great network and connection here in Skool. And welcome, Anarna. How are you?
Thank you, sir. Yeah, I'm grateful being here. Thanks for asking. It's a good time to be alive, I can say. So I'm glad to have this conversation.
I love that perspective. A lot of people, there's a lot of things in the world, right? And just to say it's a good time to be alive because I feel the same way. It's all about the things that you consume and the people you surround yourself with. I feel the same way. Yarna, I have really gotten close with you quick. You've become a big part of the foundation's lifestyle and our premium and really aligning our 5 pillars of evolution. We've all gotten close to you quick. You've become a little rock star on Skool fast. But for those who don't know you, who is Yarna Großstu?
Yeah, I think like nothing that words can describe, to be honest. I've always felt limiting putting it into a sentence or anything like that. But I think what I'm standing for is the easier way to communicate it as I think we're all one, even the community that describes it very well, like self-organizing organism. I feel we're all, or I experience us all as one organism, the entire world, humanity as large. And how it has been in the past is that we took from others what's not ours without asking, just taking over, greed, and those types of things. So I think it's just time for us to come together as one and benefit from each other, share resources, share wisdom, knowledge, information, whatever. And to, yeah, just live the best life that we can possibly live. And yeah, that's what I'm standing for. So
I love that, man. And how did your journey bring you to Skool and starting a community and where you're at today?
yeah, so I started in Skool. First downloading the app in October. I haven't been too much into. Then beginning of January, I got sick. After I dialed down in the working commitment that I was in, I was managing a spa and wellness area in a hotel in Germany. I was fucked. I was completely drained in the end of last year from doing that, and I knew something else has to come. And then I got sick. I stayed at home 2 weeks, and then I found through a friend back to school who said like, yeah, you should start a community, as she has one herself. And then I started. And it ramped up very quickly. I mean, Dinka in here has been a big part of it as well. I think we connected end of January or something like that. And then I started to just move, started to understand how things work on Skool, what I got to do in order to connect. And yeah, I'm just having lots of fun connecting, sharing information, and talking with people. And it just feels great to be here.
Yeah, your community I've seen change since you've come in. I think it's a perfect fit. Now, what sort of things do you teach and discuss in your community?
So the first name of the community was at first I started up called Self-Organizing Organism. In January, I recalled the group to Silent Power Collective as I want to, or as I believe that there is a silent spot within us all. Some people who are depressed may don't know how to utilize that silence. It's like this pulse of energy. It's like the inhale and the exhale. Like energy comes in, energy goes out. um we're receiving, we're giving, like it's just a constant flow of nature. And I think in the spot in between is the silence. So, and I think we all have wisdom to share, and I long for everyone to speak from a place of experience rather than communicating just knowledge or information that they picked up at, well, that they picked up somewhere. So um, I believe that integrated knowledge is wisdom. Wisdom is truth. Truth is love. And once we are finding that sweet spot in the middle of who we are, our center and the 0 point, we always have enough energy to do the things that we're meant to do. Life flows effortlessly. And this is how I kind of crush the game right now in the leaderboards as well. It's just like, it's naturally, it's more easy to do it than not to do it for me, because I've done the work in the last 5 to 7 years to really, since 7 years, I really dived deep into who I am on a soul level. And for 5 years now, almost like in April, end of April, I just started to unconditionally commit to who I am, to speak my truth, no matter what other people think of me. And yeah, just started to move, and everything is being rewarded at this moment. So I'm grateful.
Love that, man, and I can totally relate to your story, as far as the journey of finding yourself and what does that mean and doing new things and, what did the work look like for you? What sort of things really, helped you start to begin to find who you were?
Meditation, breath work, cold showers, cold plunges, swimming in cold waters. It's just how I got back into my body because my fasting, big part is fasting. I'm also fasting today. So yeah, like many different things. Listening to teachers, listening to, and not just listening to teachers, but actually implementing the information that I received or integrating it through experience, and listening to gurus, meditations, learned Reiki, Kundalini, to tune into my chakras, like the energy centers in my body. And the more I did this inner work and just like done things that actually lightened my load, so I decided to just do. I started taking inspired action. And once we're in inspiration and we take action in that inspiration, life really flows and things just get done. And the moment that we start thinking of it, we already lost the momentum, so to say, because we are not sure. We are balancing, or like we are like ping pong with our thoughts in our head. Am I doing it? Am I not doing it? How am I doing it? How am I supposed to do it? It doesn't really matter how. Just say yes, go into the direction, and everything is on your path anyway. So, and you learn from the things that don't work. You learn to adjust. It's like the boat, like a captain on the boat on a ship wants to go from A to B, but on the ocean or whatever, you gotta adjust its course. Like you can't just go be blown by the wind, so to say. Like you lost. So you gotta adjust the things that don't work. You gotta look into the past. Okay, or what did work, what did not, and start doing more of the things that do work and stop doing the things that don't.
Man, I've bottled up a lot of energy over the years, and people like Lindsay Ranson, and then yesterday in the Better Brain Project, we had a special event with Tony Seabold, who's become a really, ally of this place. I know you know him too, and, he was talking about, qigong and movements and releasing energy. So last night we actually before bed we like did some stuff that he taught us, and man, I've committed to now every day I'm going to meditation and movements and like release some energies. I think I could use some energy releasing, and I know everybody that knows me is probably like, yeah. So, just how did that process for you start? Where you're like, oh, I wanted to teach meditations because I gotta say, man, we've listened to like a dozen of them in the last 48 hours around in this house ever since Allie heard you on Sundays mastery call in the background and said, I really want to start listening to him more. And I started playing your meditations. We've just like had them on a loop at night. How did you get into teaching meditation?
Through embodiment. So I first have to embody anything before I'm going out and share it with other people. This is my personal opinion because anything else is just without a foundation. And we have another man in here who did like 16 hours of meditation daily for a little while, Stephen. So it's just like once we really do things and we're doing things for a certain period of time, our body stores this memory. So what we're talking about feels grounded, and feels grounded in our bodies too. So what helped me, like I had a car accident almost like 5 years ago, in April. So I got hit by a car on a highway walking up there, being drunk, and it just caused lots of trouble to myself and my physical being for a long time because I tried to belong. I tried to be part of a society. I tried to not be alone, and kind of escape my feelings for a while. And being hit by a car was kind of like it redirected my life in an instant. And I woke up in the emergency car and I just said yes to myself. And then because I felt how it's benefiting me to meditate, to do breath work, to speak up about the things that I'm doing, I knew I want to share this with other people because it helped me so much. And I know many of us have difficulties in society not knowing where our place is. And this was basically me for a very long time, even though I knew it from a very early age on, but I denied those intuitive insights that I got from from childhood on, and I just started doing it. And the moment that I realized that it's good for me, I started sharing it with people.
It was really your accident was like a self-awakening day of sorts, it seems like.
Yeah, like I mean, I there was a part of me that always was awake, and I knew what I was causing to me. Like it was just like I just denied it, or I looked away from it. You know, I think we all know it, what we
Yeah.
do, because the consequences of our actions are felt in every moment in our life. And I just started taking responsibility for that because I knew I placed myself in this situation. You know, I am not anyone who looks for self pity or pity from other people or whatever. Compassion is one thing, but I know everything that happened to me is because of the decisions that I made and the actions that I took. So once I realized that I placed myself there, I started taking new actions, started thinking in a new way, and started attracting new things into my life.
Oh man. What's really coming over me right now, and I'm really grateful for it, is you really attract people into your world that are maybe wildly different, but so similar. We've had so many conversations on this podcast where like bad shit is turned into just these powerful stories of wanting to help others. Think and I have probably think what is this episode 46? We probably had 47 people on here where it's all shit thing happens. And now I want to help people with everything that I've learned to get through that thing. And it's Sharon, Karen, myself. It's just crazy how many of us have stories of like redemption through illness, accidents, stuff like that. It's wild, man, and I'm really proud of you. Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
Love
it's
you, to
like,
be honest.
and it doesn't have to come that far. Like, this is also what I want to let people know. Like, where you're at right now, you can make a decision. And I haven't listened to the signs that have been before. Like, you know, there's a saying, like, first kind of comes with a feather and tries to take, right? If you don't listen to the tingles, it comes with a brick. And if you don't listen to the brick, it comes with a car. And for me, it was like a car, like, or like, you know, I just didn't listen to the whispers that have been there all along.
That was my story as well. I didn't listen. I seen it. I felt it. Like you said, you feel it. You know what your actions are doing, right? But
Yeah.
it sure feels good when you're on the other side of that.
Definitely, like it's freeing because everything you do starts to have a purpose. Can you just not just doing because you're trying to do anything? No, you stop trying and actually start winning. You know, I don't think that we ever lose anything rather than the cells of our being and the old self that is just not longer serving us. But once we get a winning mentality, like everything we do, we win. And it's very powerful to have that type of mindset.
Since Dinka, you're the conduit that brought this amazing person to this ecosystem, so I'm going to shut up and let you respond to where we're at so far.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I do believe that nothing is a coincidence and, everything that happens for a reason. And we have been talking about this on other calls as well, this kind of hive mentality and, us being all connected and people wanting to do good things and certain seeds being planted in many people's minds and then those people gravitating towards each other from different walks of life, and it's just this kind of belonging. I feel that's something that is being awakened now by all different energies on our planet, that there's this need of union, like people want to come together and make a difference and do things differently, and in a way it's kind of like a rebellion of like standing up and facing or saying no to the status quo. Like, this is not okay. We no longer want this to be like this. And if there isn't another way yet, then we will build it. It's like we will figure it out. Like, we have no idea how, but we have this trust and knowingness of we can do it together. And it's okay not to have all the answers. And I get a lot of this kind of energy from Jarne and from many other people in this community, that there's just this kind of need for a change. And it's the first step is the beginning of any journey. You don't have to have all the stuff figured out along the way, but if you already have taken one step and you have a general direction, you will get there, and it's always more fun to walk it together. And we are not all on the exact same path because everybody has their individual journey, but we are on the same path collectively and we are walking side by side. And I find that beautiful, that we can just be there for each other, support each other, and still have a completely different experience, because there are 8 billion ways of being human, and that's wonderful. That's thank God that we are not like clones and all exactly the same. So I don't know if there was a question in there, but this was just my internal thought process
I,
listening.
there are a few things there are a few things that I can touch on there. You said no. We have to say no to the things that just are over that we don't agree with, energetically. And the moment that we say no to something, we also say yes to ourselves. And many people have difficulty saying no, and I was there for sure. Like, I haven't said no. Do you want to go out with? And my inner being wanted to say no. But I went partying again. I took drugs, and I've done all of those things, many times over and over again. But my inner being said no. But I haven't said no to them in order to say yes to me. So it's again what I talked about a few minutes ago. We got to commit and to make a decision. But for as long as we're not making a decision, we feel like powerless, because not speaking up about things that we actually don't agree with, or not making a decision for ourselves to be ourselves and to do the things that are right for us, we give power to that other thing. So yeah, and community coming together, we all long to belong. I made a post today, I think, like, we all long to belong, like we all want to be part of the collective, but we are not going to do this when we try to be like other people, because we're all unique. So, and if I don't know who I want to be, like, maybe the question might be like, if I don't know who I am, I can ask myself the question, who do I want to be? So yeah.
Who do you want to be?
Oh man, I want to be a person, an individual on this earth that is inspiring billions of people to stand up for themselves, to speak their truth, and to live happy. And what that means is to take action in a way that is inspired action, but to do the things that actually lighten your being, because you really feel life becomes more and more effortless. And because I did this for me. Well, like, I took action in this way for so many years now. That's like, it builds up a momentum. And you can't help but evolve. You can't help but move forward. And I want to have people to have people. I want for people to have the experience of light being. We are light beings, and our being becomes lighter and lighter the more we are pure, like within our thoughts, emotions, actions, behaviors, intentions, all of those things. So I want to be like a facilitator or like a conduit, I don't know, a channel that just allow that information to come through me, so people feel the inspiration to take action upon their own behalf, rather than on the expectations of the world, of their family, of whoever.
Great answer. I just hit you with that hardball question just out of nowhere. But that was like a great answer. Wow. Where are your goals now with self-organizing organism on Skool? What kind of people are you hoping to attract? What sort of things are you kind of thinking of adding to that community? Give us a little bit of podcast exclusive behind the scenes on your community.
Yeah, thank you for asking. So I just renamed the community from Silent Power Collective to Self-Organizing Organism. And this has a reason, because I don't want to be the center of it all. Like, I really don't want to be the center of anyone else's life rather than my own. And I want to have everyone be the center of their own life. So what I want to do is I want to create a space for people to come in, to share their resources, to share their information, to share what worked for them from an embodied state. And then for us to come together, to have a platform for people to speak their truth. And then the people who resonate with this person's message, they can get in contact with that person more easily. And I want to build like this hub, like a spiritual hub, or like a hub of, I don't know, inspired people who just like here to leave the world better than they found it, to leave the world better behind than they found it. And to create like really like the largest Skool community, to be honest, and the spiritual perspective on Skool, because I know that I can do it, but can't do it by myself. And if I say I know I can do it, it's just like, I'm here to connect. Like, I'm a connector. I connect so many different things. You say one thing and I can make a connection to something. I don't know, like, it's just how my brain, how my mind works. I just love to connect people. I love to connect people with themselves. I love to connect people with each other. And I want to have this community to be a space for people to share their resources, to monetize maybe their resources or whatever, to monetize their communities. And everyone can have their own communities, but we can all come together in a way that, okay, we can organize ourselves around in this community. And then whoever resonates with your community, Brandon, sees your content and like, okay, oh, wow, fuck, I gotta hang out with him. I join his community. So I want to make this kind of hub and like, I mean, self-organizing organism. What is going to happen? I have no idea. It might be something completely else that I've just talked about right now. But I want to have everyone in there to share their heart unconditionally, show up for themselves. So everyone shows up for themselves, and because we show up for ourselves, we allow other people to do the same. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I can't help but smile when you talk about helping people. Like, just I feel the energy off of you, and that's a beautiful thing, man. And that's why you're such like scooped you up around here, dude. Like, you're such a great part of everything we do in the foundation's ecosystem because we envisioned connected communities and people that like we could say, hey, you need meditations and peace and just connecting with others. Go to self-organizing organism. You need like really to level up and like join small cohorts and build your businesses. Go to Success Mastermind with Mark Eldridge. Like uh, Trinity Code is one of my favorite places on Skool because it's a genuine human behind everything that Dinka does. And we can point people to those amazing places. Like I could go on for an hour about how many amazing communities, everybody on this call and beyond. And
yeah,
that's to me the coolest part. It's like we're creating a Rolodex of beautiful humans that are helping others. And I don't need to like go to doctors or traditional medicine anymore. I just go, okay, am I talking to Mark or Sharon or Karen? What
yes,
question I got? Do I need peace? I'll ask Yarna and Tony Sebald and Dinka. Like, and to me, that's really cool. You have people that really care about you, and these communities are bigger than just
I love
monetization
it.
programs. Yeah, I love it. Really,
I just come like to something. I think this is would be the a better question. Or it's a better answer to your question, but that you just mentioned asked me before. But I want to I want to give people a platform to be seen, to be valued, and to speak. This is really what it's about because everyone has something that they would love to talk about from their hearts, to feel more safe. But I want people to feel safe because this world, as we know it and we grew up in, it's horrible. It is fucking horrible. And I don't think that this is how it's meant to be. I don't think that this world, as we see it, as we've seen it in the past, is what it's meant to be. I believe we are here to come together in unity. Dinka mentioned this as well, to unite as one and to create, like, just to build a new world that everyone has value to give. I want to get this value from people, the community. I want to encourage people to trust in themselves because I believe everyone is born ready. Like every time people say, I'm not ready yet, or I got to think about it, or I got to do this or that, I don't believe this is to be true, but I believe that your intuition, once we're free, once we learn to free ourselves from all of those limitations energetically, and this is also what I help people do, we have the answers always in the now because our intuition knows it. Our soul knows it. There is no more question like that we have in our minds. This is why like people ask me, how can I help you? And I'm like, I can't answer this question. I don't feel you. What do you see? Can you help me with? This would be the question that I would ask you when you ask me this question, because if you see you can be of support of me, please share that with me or take action to do so rather than asking me, how can I be of, this entire coaching scene got to change as well. I mean, I can talk about those things on and on and on and on, but yeah,
I mean, I think it's every time there's a coaching situation, and I just can speak from my own experience. Without exception, I've always learned something from the people that I worked with. It's always an energetic exchange. And I love that about that it has to be both ways, because if it's not, then what are you even doing? And I feel like as a coach or as someone who guides other people, it is our responsibility to have that openness and not come at people from a place of arrogance, like, I'm going to tell you how to live your life, No, no, no. You maybe can teach something to the other person, but you're inevitably going to receive something in return because they have a completely different perspective. And maybe that's the change that you're talking about, Jarne. Maybe maybe that's what we are getting at. But I do feel like there's a lot of this kind of guru mentality, like sit down and shut up and let me tell you what's what. And I think people are also a bit tired of that, like everybody is the expert of their own reality. Nobody knows how to be you better than you. So coming at them from this angle of like, no, 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 you're doing it all wrong, like you're living life wrong. That's just offensive, honestly.
Yeah, and it's like we no one needs change. Like no one, like if I think the world needs to change or this person needs to change, I need to change first. I can't accept anyone else to change without me embodying the change myself. And once I'm embodying what I would like to see in the world, people will get what they need from it automatically without me needing to try to direct them into any direction. So because this again is manipulation. If I try to direct something that's outside of me, rather than knowing my own direction, my own truth, and inspiring people with that. And I think this is also where we come to the point like we are all our own guru, and like finding that sweet spot within us that has the answer that we need in the now. I don't need to know what's happening tomorrow or in a year or in 2 years now. Let's focus on what's present within you in the now. And maybe in the next moment you just tune it again and see what's present. And we always try to predict the future. We always try to change the path or like I don't know. It's just insane in my own personal view because life is very simple if we live the principles, like universal laws, and it all starts within. What I see in the outer world changes when I change the way that I see myself. So the moment that I change the within, like what's within me, I changed my perspective because of the experiences. I became wiser in whatever way. The world around me changes and they reflect something new back to me. And this is something very amazing, like that also started for me when I had this experience a few years ago that the more I've done the inner work on myself, the world around me started to change because I'm in resonance with the new frequencies. So what the people reflected back to me was new or was related to an alignment with what's internally and what's inside me. And yeah, it's just a very wonderful experience if we see that we actually don't see the world as it is, we see the world as we are.
And there's power in that too, because you cannot change the world. You can change how you view the world. You can put on a different lens and see through the lens of compassion or the lens of, non-judgment, which is a hard one. I feel like that's one that we all struggle with because the judgment is, it's a mirror. It's reflection of our shortcomings. We judge things in people that we cannot accept about ourselves. So
Mhm.
again, this is what you were saying, that it's an inside job. You have to sort that out inside of yourself first, and then you will not get triggered by it in the external world because you're okay with it. You cannot be bothered by something that you have full acceptance of. So it's a school. This is what I always say, that this planet
It's
is
a
the
school.
Ivy
It's
League. This
fucking
planet is
amazing.
the Ivy Leagues. This is the best education in the universe. We are given the possibility to learn all this stuff. We just have to show up and do the work.
And the moment that we show up for ourselves, people will feel that and people are drawn to us because we show up for ourselves. And this is the key.
You know, you listening to you, and everybody else that we've talked to, and there's a huge portion of our community and the world that believes excuse me, that we can think our reality. We can believe and act, and the things we think and put out there, our reality becomes that, right? And if we did that as a collective, that would solve a lot of problems in the world, right? Like if we just all, a collective of people, started to think differently about world peace, hunger, like, and we started to think things that these weren't problems as a collective, maybe they wouldn't be problems. And I don't know why, but that was where my tornado ADHD brain went while you guys were talking, was all the people we talked to. It's crazy. It's really crazy to think of that all the things that we see every day, the things we think, the things we put out there, the things we say, words are spells, right? Like imagine if we just all came together to do that positive, loving light, what could happen? And I think we do that in our little corner here. I do see it.
Yeah, and this is how we show up for each other as well, and like I mean we see it in the world, like how our world changes by showing up together. But this is also because everyone shows up for themselves. And it's very inspirational to see this movement right now happening across those different communities that we have. And it's very inspiring for me to have those types of conversations because it's like Rose said this yesterday or 2 days ago again, like, and it's so true. And it's since then more so again in my awareness. What we focus on expands, and we can focus on the problem. We can focus on what we don't want, what we don't like, and complain about all the things that do not work out or that those people did or whatever. Or we focus on the solution, on the move forward, like what can I bring, what can I change within me that causes other people to see that or to be inspired by that, and to even do the things that are in alignment, with truth, integrity, authenticity, like love. And yeah, I mean it's a very deep conversation, and I love having these conversations. I'm also like I'm a very gifted healer. Like I came here with healing abilities, hands-on healing. But in this life, I'm more here to share the voice, So I want to have platforms to speak on. I want to share this information because I feel how it lights me up to talk about these things, Me growing up, and this is also to answer the question that you asked me earlier, um, why I'm doing what I'm doing or what inspired me with having this community. If I go back into my childhood, I wanted to speak my truth, but I couldn't because I couldn't put it into words. I didn't know how to communicate it. So I worked like I'm turning 27 on the 27th of March, like in 2 days. And like I really worked on this 27 years kind of to receive those types of informations. For many years, didn't know how to communicate it. In the last 7 years, I started communicating that in a new way, and then 5 years ago, I really made a decision to completely commit. And every one of us, since we are born, children we are born perfectly, we are born ready, we are born with everything that we will ever need in this life. And everything that we try to add onto our being is just taking away from our being because we try to add something to something that's already whole and complete. Our soul is whole and complete. There's nothing our soul lacks, nothing at all that our soul lacks. So children not been taught this. So I, as a child, haven't been told that I'm perfect. Like, okay, my mom loved me. My mom told me I'm an angel. But it's like, it's a different thing, Like if you judge yourself or if you grow up in a society questioning yourself because you know something to be true, but everyone else is doing the completely opposite. They hurt themselves, they hurt others. They actually want to do one thing, but they do something completely different that's in contradictory to what they actually want to do. And we're torturing our
You might have to stay in place there.
place where I am now. And I think also this is why I start. Am I still here?
Yeah, now you're coming back. You might have to go. You might have to sit in place again because you started to cut out pretty bad back and forth.
Anyway, like, yeah, I mean, we're born perfect. We're born perfect. Everyone is born perfect. We all carry a truth within us since we are born. And it's time for us to speak that, which has always been within us. There's a longing, there's an inner desire that wants to be expressed, by our soul. And it's time for us to own that. It's time for us to speak that into existence because everything matters. Like every thought matters, every emotion matters, everything that we do matters. And yeah, I'm just grateful to be able to show up in the way that I do the work every day. And I'm grateful also for people sharing this journey with me. And I can just encourage anyone to join the ride. Like it's a fucking great experience, like the love train, right?
Yeah, I love that. And I feel like there's also, I say this often in the work that I do, that I truly believe that everyone has a genius, an area of genius. And it's just a matter of wanting to find that. It's not, the select few who have special powers. No, every single one of us has. And it starts with the awareness of it, believing it, that you can do something that no one can on the planet, because it's just the you know just the probability of you being you, like, if you think about how the egg and the little sperms and the combinations and all of that, that's already crazy. So you are beyond special. and then saying that, no, I'm just plain old me, like nothing is special about me, is denying all of that. And I don't understand sometimes how people don't make that connection, but I understand that it's not in the current system's best interest for people to stand in their power. So they are doing a lot of things to keep, all of us in fear and lower frequencies so that we don't step into our power, because then they can control us. Maybe this is going to conspiracy theory direction, but
But
I
you're
love a
right.
good conspiracy theory, so
Uh,
shoot me.
But you're right.
I'm always here for it.
Yeah. Yeah, true. It's so true. And it's like everything that tries to put you into a corner that doesn't feel right. Uh-uh. And there is either the things, they're either supportive and make us happy in the long run, or they're fake. And everything that's fake, that's kind of based off fear. And what do I mean with fake? It's just like this short-term pleasure, or like you need to earn money, or like you need to have this now in order for you to do this now. But like, how about taking action or behaving in a way or creating something that has like that is sustainable? And I see politicians and on world stages or people in generally, they just go from problem solving to problem solving to problem solving, but they're not really seeing that the actually thing, or they want to run away from the problem, but they're creating more of that because they're fearing that thing. Politicians, they make decisions. Now we solve this problem, but with the solution, I make this for sure, like the solution that they found is again causing more problems. It's not really, it's making us happy in the short term, but it still causes long-term suffering. So even with food, with overeating, with consumerism, like, is it helping me? Is it making me happy in the long run? Or is it just like I want to have this short-term high in order for me to feel this pleasure, but I will drop down right away again. And then I seek this next pleasure and the next pain and the next pleasure and the next pain and the next pleasure and the next pain. But how about getting out of this pain and pleasure cycle and allowing ourselves to neutralize ourselves within ourselves, to balance and to do the things now that actually make us happy in the long run? Like even after the car accident 5 years ago, I had a mentor who gave me this task. I should think of who I was, old me and new me. Like, who do I want to be in 3 or 5 years or 10 years? I took 5 years. And who was I? How was I behaving? How was I feeling? What characteristics did I show up with? And then the new one, the same thing. Like, how is this person in 5 years showing up? Like, what are the characteristics like? What is he doing during the day? Like, how is he feeling? And I wrote down those things and I started behaving in that way. And this is such a powerful thing if we act in the way that we actually want to be rather than from the trauma that we've experienced in the past. And this is also something like post-traumatic growth. Like, I could be traumatized from it, from the car accident. Many people would, in the past, but what I have been from those experiences, but I chose growth. I took all of that pain and turned it into power. So, and this is with every single thing that we do. Like, we can take the thing, however horrible it is, we look at it, and we have to look at it because so many things come up in this world right now. We have to look at those things. We can't deny any of that. We have to look at it with all of our eyes. How many ever we have with all of our eyes, look at it and decide new, make new decisions, behave in a way that we cause the future to happen that we actually want to have. Because every choice we make has a consequence. Every single choice that we make has a consequence. What consequences would I like to have? Like, tune in. Is this consequence from benefit or not? And if not, fucking don't do it. Or what I'm doing now, like, is it benefiting only me or is it benefiting all? Like, what I'm doing, do other people benefit from my doing as well? Or is it just for my own sake?
It's funny because I had a question and I was going to ask you what you would tell somebody that is stuck in cycles and stuck in, they don't see themselves ever really leaving their traumas and their habits and their ways. And I feel like even before I asked that question, you answered it a little bit. But what would you tell somebody that's listening to us and going, I don't think I can change, leave this situation that I'm in, circumstances?
I
Without
think the first, like, they're like two things that come up right now. Surround yourself with people who embody something that you would like to embody. So spend as much time as you can with those types of people in any way, shape, or form. Listening to them, be with them, watch those videos from those people, or just hang out in those communities and be in and just get all of this information and just take it all in, or be in their presence, because our life is a reflection of the five people we say we spend most time with. I just hear that. If that's true, I don't know, but it's kind of true. Like, the principle itself is true, that we have to be surrounded by those energies that support us. Whatever our surrounding looks like, it shapes us. Like, there's no way around that. So we got to hang out with people who embody something that we would like to embody. So this is also what I do a lot. If I want to go to the next level, I look, okay, who is someone who is embodying something I would like to have. So I spend more time with those people, with that person. And another thing is, like, it may comes before that, it may after, depending on the person. Maybe I got to commit. I must make a decision, but rather than contemplating about it, because we get so used to the things that we know, and our body, our cells are programmed and engineered to save energy in case we need it for survival. So until we say consciously make a decision, okay, yes, I want to change, our body goes on autopilot and does the same thing again and again and again and again without anything happening. So I can't accept anything to change before I'm not making new decisions, start acting in a different way, surrounding myself with new people, new energies,
Yeah, it's Einstein's definition of madness, doing the same thing and expecting a different result.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, man, you
That's
better
right.
get the link from Dinka. We got to do this again. This is fun. It's been a pleasure having you on here today, Yarn. I knew it was going to be a great episode. You really cultivate a great energy here in our community with our premium crew. Our Sunday meetings are just a blast with you. I can't thank you enough for being really a part of everything we got going on here in Evergreen Foundations and just out in school and life in general. Man. Really, I mean, like I said, you're already I hear your voice more than mine now, which is dude, good. I hear your voice in our house with meditations at night and before bed, and it's awesome, man. So thank you for
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I'm grateful to share, and I only share what helps for me. I really, and every time I see myself going back into old behaviors, I just adjust, and I think just every day is a new day. Like, we rise anew every single day, every moment is a new opportunity for ourselves to be ourselves. And it all starts with saying yes.
It's beautiful. It really is. Dinka, I'm gonna throw you the ball. And I'm kind of excited for this one, to be honest.
Yeah, maybe you know this already, Jarne, that I always draw a card at the end of the podcast, tuning in to the speaker's energy. And no surprise there, you got the Hermit card. It says retreat and recharge. So I don't think
I
there's
am.
any explanation needed there, but it even kind of looks like you a little bit.
I do those things too. Like, today is a hermit day for me. Like, I'm not joining any conversations in this place that I'm in right now, in this guest house. Really are in rejuvenation, recovering mode today, fasting today. So it's the perfect card. So yeah.
I hope it resonates, but I kind of feel it does.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Of course.
I think all those have been really awesome. I feel like they always, in my mind, after the conversation we have, and they always really ring true to home for pieces of the conversation. Before I ask you my last question, Erna, we got some cool things going on in the community this week. We have a mini growth summit, which Saturday you will be gracing us with a body vitality presentation. Super excited about that. On this call, James Bonsbach, Islandis, they're also presenters. The mini growth summit kicks off tomorrow, but tonight the Resident Tornado is going live. I'm going to break down every guest. I'm going to maybe have some surprise guests popping on and all sorts of stuff for our mini growth summit kickoff party. That's tonight in Evergreen Foundations. Yarn, I'm really, like I said, man, I'm really grateful that you're a part of everything and I learn and grow. And Markel, did you need to get Skooly hooked up on Foundation so I can get the cool emojis like James Bonsbach. I want goats and stuff too. And rockets. I digress. Thank you so much, Yarna, for coming. I have one final question. And this is I do it for all of our guests, unless I've been on twice. What does evolution mean to you?
What evolution means to me, I think evolution is a composition of different things, rising consciousness.
It's a beautiful answer, man. and I knew I didn't expect any less, honestly. You know, simple and beautiful. Self-organizing organism on Skool, beautiful community, growing every day. Check out Jarne. This has been presented by Evergreen Foundations. I'm Brandon Kramer from the Better Brain Project. That's Dinka Salvador from Trinity Code. And have a great day. Keep evolving. Keep tuning in.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. See you then.
Bye.